So next part we want to create right now is the total attrition by walk distance, which we have right on this part here. That is distant or distance status right here. We have far, very far, and we have nearby, wherever. So to create that right now, if you go back to this analysis, the reason why we created those particular filters we have right here. So this filter is actually active on either of those particular ones here now. So once I actually have this one copied, and I copy it, I scroll and paste it right here, the filter actually comes in with it. So we don't need to actually reconnect it later after all again. So all we have to do is to make sure we break it down by walk distance. And here we go. We have distance status. So put it at the right spot here. We're going to put it right here, and I'm going to move this. So just clear the filter for now. So go right here, and as you can see here, it works. So you just want to leave it on under attrition, because I told you what you're looking forward to seeing is the movement of people out of the organization, not how many employees we do have. So we've gotten something like this. Love it. So I don't want to use this to create a chart. I just want to make it look much more appealing on my dashboard. So how do I do this? And before we go on, I just want to create some dots here. Not like, okay, let me just add one single dot here, or a full stop right in here. So, and I'm going to do, once other settings. So right click, and I'm going to go ahead and say pivot table settings. So go to display right here. I think we use the other one instead. So right click and go to our field setting here. Layout, and you want to say show item with no data. So you want to say show item with no data. So click on OK. So just make sure that one is active. And I want to use my if condition to determine what is here. So putting my equal to, I'm going to say if this particular number here is greater than 1. So I want to retrieve this point we have right here. So I'm going to actually make sure I phrase it, F for key. So that is all we need to do. I close it. And okay, before I close it, I'm going to put my comma to define the false. So give me nothing if actually it has no value. So I'm going to hit my OK. So I have this dot right now. So I can just decide to copy it down. So here, I want to properly align it. So here we go. So you might be like, are you crazy? Why do you need this? Don't worry, you will see how it is going to be used in our dashboard. So we have to go back to a dashboard right now and start getting things ready. So before you get anything right here, make sure you have it from the highest down to the lowest value. So we go back here. It's very simple and easy. I can just double this. So I bring Ctrl Z to take it back. So I have to bring this all the way down here, starting from here. I'm gonna give a space like this. So now we can go ahead and pick the first one and just make a little tweak to it and get the remaining. So I just want to bring in the fur, hit my enter key. So I've gotten the fur. So I'm just going to reduce this like this. So Ctrl D to duplicate this. I set it this way and duplicate the next one. So if this is actually 9, so this should be 10. So on the next one should be 11. So I know you got the drill. So 11, and here we go. We have this. So the next thing we do is just for we to make sure we actually highlight this and move this right here. Very important. So I think you can guess, the column that this one should be right in now, because this is just the change of column, not change of row again. This one should be on P. So I'm going to show you how, in case you are wondering how did I know. So I'm going to put it on P, and it will give me the values that are actually peculiar to each one of them. So it's on P, and this is what it is. So let us go back right here. So now this one sits on O column, this one sits on P column, and here are the numbers that are peculiar to each one of them. So with that, you can guess right. So we've just done this. So the next thing is for we to actually make sure we format this part right here to make it look a bit cool, right? What we can do next now is just to see what color matches this color we have right in our background. So first of all, I want to select all this. I'm going to select them. So I'll come right here and make sure I put it on bold, and we'll go ahead and choose this, color for it. So which is the color we've used for this particular part right here. So once I've done that, the next one now is actually me trying to work on this. I'll go ahead and do the same thing to it, and this time around I want to use white, and that will make sure it stands out a lot. So what if we want to shift something a little bit? What we can do is not for we to select it or select them individually. Go to find and select, which is something we've done previously, and make sure you select this area here, so you can just move it. So that is actually cool. So it is time for we to start to get the legend created. So what I'm going to do now is just for me to come right to this particular place here. Oh, sorry, let me say something. In case you've actually done what I've just, the action I've actually prompted to this right now, and you have it from find, and you have this after you might have done using this, for you to make sure you get this off, because it's gonna remain with you all through. You have to press the escape key on your keyboard, and you now have this cross back to select individually anything you want to select. All right, so I'm gonna just duplicate this. I'll bring it up right to this particular part here. So now I'm gonna go ahead and bring this first one here. I'm gonna hit my enter. So it doesn't really show and make a lot of sense. Don't worry, we can fix it. So still using the same font type we use, I'm gonna come here and put the full stop on 32. So change it to 32, make sure it's in it. So now 32, we can see it again. So we just want to make sure we use this and something like this. Then the next thing is for we to make sure we just do something like this. So there is no way we could some kind of put it in the middle of it. And if we try to make sure we just do it this way, it's going to go in. So we just have to make sure we do something like this. And now we change the color to what we want. So let us try to use, the white, but not the brighter one. So now this actually creates a legend for it. You'll see the effect of this legend when we get to this particular part right here. So this particular part to make a lot of sense and right on this part. So you can see when I actually create the filter of my department, so this disappears. If I do the same thing, you can see what I'm having now. So, and once this disappeared, which means there is no value for it right here, this is what you might have been struggling with on how to create your own personal legend. So you don't want to keep this, because ordinarily, if I try to use, let me show you the example here. If I decide to use static one, I can just come here and pick any of these particular, shapes we have right here, just like this, and just drop it right for this to create some kind of awesome part of it. But that is not really cool. It will not be dynamic. So this will be dynamic when there is no value for verify. This will disappear. That is what we are doing here. So now I can just go ahead and bring this right here, and automatically I'm going to change this one from 9 to 10. So from 9 to 10. And we just want to quickly do the same thing again, do the same formatting. So we just want to use the same 32. select it again, and we put it on the same color. So we do the same thing to this as well. So we just make sure it's an 11. This is very important. You have to change it and quickly go ahead and do the formatting, which is very, very important. And come right here and change it to 32. So now we are done. This is all you need right for this particular part right here. So I've just shown you how to create a legend yourself, and it will be very much dynamic. So when there is no value, the legend disappears as well. It doesn't remain there. It will look awkward when you try to actually allow the legend to stay. So what about this?